Right, hello everybody. Go through our usual process here. Do this, do that. Here. Zoom out some. Get this to fit right. How is everybody doing? I have my air conditioner on for a minute just to cool the room down. While I do the beginning things I have to do every time. So we're live on YouTube. Cool. Hello everybody. Even though nobody's there yet. They will be, right? Let's see here. So we got that. We have this almost to go live. There it is. And I'll say my usual come here to chat. Hello. Hello everybody. Come to YouTube if you wish to chat. There. All right. Let's go to Facebook. And get that so people there are aware that there is a live stream happening. It's my cousin's birthday. It's my grandpa's birthday. Grandpa Bud. Happy birthday up there in heaven, my friend. Right now on YouTube. There we go. Wow, everybody's here. Good day, good evening, wherever you are. Some of you are in places where it's evening time. Here it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But I like, was it like last live stream at the end, everybody's like, bye from Poland, bye from Germany, bye from all these countries. It's pretty amazing. Hi Chris, Seth, Biodode, right? It's not dude, it's Dode. I keep thinking Biodude. Raymond, guys, welcome. So we have some fun stuff happening today. I just released 1.2 update to Percussa. And I want to share that with you. We're gonna look at there's two new multis that have kits. So there's actually 4 new multis. As well as each of the BPM patches that made up those multis. I pulled them out and saved them as well. So there's 15 patches, and if you hide this, put the Percussa 1.2 update folder. You could download this either from the website. Just go to the website, log in, and it'll be there for you to download. It's now V1.2 at the end of the name. And it comes, I did these in a different way. I built them actually from kits. And I'll share that process with you. So right here is the MIDI files. Here's the separates for each of the 6 parts. And the combined MIDI file for the Believer multi. And for the reggaeton. So here's, and it took 8 tracks to do reggaeton. And then here's the new multis, and it says add to the stacked patterns folder. So to do that, let me show you the process. Let's just do it all together here at the beginning of this video. So you'd go to your Steam folder. We all know where our Steam folder is, right? You cannot be a plugin guru customer and not know where your Steam folder is. That's just a no-no. So once you get to your Steam folder, go to Omnisphere, to the settings library, and then there's the multis folder is what we need first. And we want Percussa. And it says add to the stacked patterns folder. So you open that up, there's 4 files, and here's the stacked patterns. This is where all of the grooves are, see? So you would take and drag these 4, drag and drop them to here. And then you would back out of here and go to the patches, and it says put into the ARP BPM folder, right? So that means you back out to the patches, which is right here. Go to Percussa, to ARP BPM. This is where all the ARP BPM patterns that make up the library exist. So you would then take and copy all these 15, click and drag to drag them in. Then go back to Omnisphere and first go to the patches and hit the little reload button. This refreshes the database. It doesn't hurt to do this every now and then. And it will go through and just recatalog all the files and all the patches. And because this directory existed already inside of the big directory list, it's able to update what patches are in that folder. It can't update if you add a new folder of new presets or something. You have to quit your DAW and relaunch it again if that's the case. And I have so many libraries, it's going to take it a minute. Turn off the air conditioner now. It's cozy in here. So we have this parade. Today's the Floral Rose Parade in Portland, Oregon. And it's raining. Like, not really hard. But, you know, they're showing the camera slowly going by on these floats, and there's raindrops on the lens of the camera. So it's raining enough to be noticeable. And everybody's wearing like plastic garb and stuff like that. So once you've done those 2 steps of clicking and dragging, you will find that you have, when you go to, okay, you go away for the moment. When you go to your multis, to Percussa, the very top is the Reggaeton Rebel, which if we set our tempo at about 89, and the mod wheel up, get the added parts of the groove, and a timbale fill, or not. There's that. And if you go down here to 122, there's Imagine Believer. This is based on the song Believer from Imagine Dragons, which is really awesome. So we could do this. Let's go over here to Spotify. I'll play a second of it so you get the vibe. If you haven't heard this song, you should go look it up. Look for Believer from Imagine Dragons. So here, I'm going to play it through the speakers like this. It's a cool song. Okay, so I took that basic groove and triplet. Fun stuff. Now, if you want, we could go over here to the sequencer, and if you want, I have kit versions of these. So if we take, and let's move Omnisphere for a second and get Percussa update to Believer. Here's the MIDI file. So if I took that MIDI file and I drag it into an arrangement page inside of do not import tempo, use what I've got. So there is the MIDI information for this. And if I go to Omnisphere, I would need to call up the kit to play the MIDI file, because this groove is using the arpeggiator, which is using some cases MIDI files. See how these are MIDI files with the little dots? You can tell if it's a MIDI file with the dots. Or you can go to just the kit, and here you have, right? And now you can play the sequence, and it feels better. The arpeggiator in Omnisphere is okay, but it doesn't compete very well when it comes to the tightness and having the lock of the feel that you can get with a sequencer. So this was the original sequence I did, the MIDI file. And if we want to have fun, just for a second, because we like to have fun here, right? So if I hide, go to the, make the strings go away, make this be another Omnisphere. It turns out that Mega Magic Guitars Part 2, check this out, has let's see here. If I go multis, if I put this into the user believer. In fact, let's do this. Well, and if we want, I actually had some other tracks set up, so I could go here, change this to MIDI channel 1, and then hold down Control and hit my return button to add extra tracks. This is a patch from the BPM bonus stuff, and when you first call this up, you'll notice if we go to Mega Magic Guitars Part 2, it's not a 12th triplet feel to start with, right? So let's talk about how to get this to work, because the groove of Believer is right. This is 16th note, so if I play the two together, it doesn't work. So what you have to do, there's two places, because there's two different things of timing happening now. There's the ARP and there's delays, right? So those delays need to be taken into account as well. So go to the ARP and change it, instead of 16th notes, go down here to 8th note triplets. And it still doesn't sound right because these delays are off. So go up here, change this to be 8th note T for triplet. And this has this B sound is just a really long sustaining. So you can turn that down a little bit and bring it more to the rhythm guitar part. Now it works. And then I did the same thing for the bass. So we'll sequence that real quick. Okay, so let's quantize that by hitting the Q button. And since the timing isn't important for this because the arpeggiator is doing the timing, but the timing of downbeats when it plays. Okay. So, and that bass part originally, just so we see the flow of how I got here, part 3 was a BPM. Remember with BPM patches, there's a hidden real patch inside of it. So at any point, if you want, we got to go over here and go to Mega Magic Guitars Part 2, and it will pop up to the patch. The original patch is a groove, right? So it doesn't work. So either I could go over here and I could set to 8th note triplets. Boom, boom. But I don't want that. I want to make my own timing in this case. So just turn the arpeggiator off, and then, and I think in this case, maybe I would want to turn off the delays, make it a little bit cleaner. Since there's reverb so much on it already, just make sure there's no more. If I wanted, I could even clean it up. Oh, this is a panning thing, so let's sync the two together. I still hear reverb, don't you? Bass, chorus. Oh, you know what? I think this is because it's on the string track. Right. So it had a bus being sent. So there, now let's try. So you can clean for bass. A lot of times you need to clean it up so it doesn't the stuff that we put on it to make it impressive. It's kind of my old school Korg days of make it a complete cool sounding thing by itself. But when you get into a music production situation, sometimes you don't want that. You want really clean sounds, and then you can add stuff later if you want. So turn off the reverb, turn off delays. That's kind of the general rule for a lot of stuff. A lot of the sounds that we make, if you're going to track these, kill the effects. They'll clean up your mix in incredible ways sometimes. Like compare this to this. You have all this extra stuff happening. So be aware of things like that you can do to get. I'm going to do more of these videos showing how to take all these different libraries and work with them and what you can do to them to make them work better for what you need, because I can't decide what you need, but for most cases, most of the sessions that I've done on big records and stuff, the first thing the engineers will do is say, okay, turn off your reverb and delay. Right off the bat. They don't care if it's the best reverb and delay in the box. They don't want it because that's something that is going to interfere with who knows what later in the song. And so they don't want to deal with that and not be able to remove it. So clean up the tracks as you're making your song. And then when it comes mixing time, that's when you can go crazy and add reverb, delay, production effects where needed to the sounds that need it. And it won't be on sounds that don't need it. So, all right. So those are available. And on top of that, I spit out all of the patches. So if we go to, where are we at? We're here. If you, let's initialize the multi. Actually, I should call it up this way because it's a little bit faster. So if you go to reggaeton, there's this kick pattern. And the high energy stuff is really cool. Just these by themselves. Just have that. And then you can put that onto all sorts of different tracks besides a reggaeton style. Okay. And the Believer kit is really cool when you get to the and for a lot of stuff, like say if I was going to track this, I might go to the part 2, that snare. Now, if I want to hear that, I could go like this and then turn off the ARP so I can play it really fast. And now I can shape it. Maybe I want more like that for, then I go to part 2, turn back on the ARP. That's cleaner. Other parts that are kind of fun, this triplet thing is fun. And this is one of those for velocity. So you can play with the velocities of this. Or turn it off. I did the lazy update to Percussa 1.2 with the Atmosphere file. Did I just lose all my edited presets? Yes. If you do the lazy update, I'm sorry, but it overwrites the existing, pre-existing everything. So be aware that that includes ratings as well as edits. I'm really sorry about that. Whoops. Yes, whoops. If you take and do the .install Omnisphere with the 1.2 update, it will add all the new stuff, but it overwrites everything because it's just one file. I'm going to even say something here in text. Sorry, dude. Sorry about that. What a bummer. That's the one challenge is I can't do an update that is an intelligent update for Omnisphere where it would just like replace just a few things in a .omnisphere file. So yes, I'm sorry. But now you got all these other cool things to play with. It's okay. Thought it was ratings only, but right. Yeah, I should make clear it's all edits. Anything you've done to the files, it's replacing it with the stock ground zero of everything. So that means it resets everything. Let's have a moment of silence for those lost edits. Data heaven. I know much about data heaven. Many sounds are in data heaven. I want to trash all mine, so it's the lazy man for me. Yeah, if you haven't done edits or if you haven't done ratings or you don't mind going back and redoing ratings, then the install.omnisphere is perfectly sufficient for that type of thing. I bought the Magic Keyboard with 10... Oh, the Magic Keyboard. Oh, cool. All right, so that's some ways to work with Percussa. Let's do one more example of working with Percussa just to show you how to break things out because I want to make sure that we're aware of how cool this is to work with. Let's say that we use Cinematic Transfer. Right? Oh, wait. I'm going to find one that doesn't use as much CPU power because that limits what I'm going to be able to do if I do anything else. So the idea with this is that you're going to want to have parts that are playing and then not playing. And so you need to be able to mix between these. And there's a couple cool ways to mix. I'm going to show you something new a lot of you don't know about. It's in the stack abilities of this wonderful synthesizer. Because I have the mod wheel doing all this stuff, right? It can do more than that. If you go to stack and you change it to CC, this is crazy. What this does is, this is the range of your controller. And I could set this to another controller number if I wanted it to not be my mod wheel. Like, let's see, do I have something else here that's sending a continuous controller? Yeah, so this is 54. So if I change this to be 54... Yeah, okay, good. So that way it doesn't mess up. I'm using a knob on my virus. Yay. So what this does, I don't know if you guys know about this, but this is something that will blow your minds if you don't know about it. Let's say I want to have the kick working all the time. Here, let's solo real quick because I want to kind of pick out what part. So the kick is way down there. And the snare's on 3. So let's have the snare that's on 3 only happen when the controller's up here. And I'm going to click right up here in the top corner and have it fade in. And that really busy part, I don't want it. I don't want this. I don't want that buzzy thing until it's all the way at the max. Okay, now let's have the snare part. So I'm mixing in real time with my controller. So by moving my controller, I can choose, I can have it where this sound only shows up right in this middle range. Right here. So. So by moving a controller, I could even like have this be up a little bit and have this up a bit. So if I'm all the way at the bottom, that's all gone. Just kick. And let's have this slowly fade in. Let's have it slowly fade out before it gets to the top, and then it's gone for the very top. Did you guys know about this? So you can mix in real time with one controller on the stack mode CC page, and you choose what controller you want it to be from the list. You'll see this bar going by here, and you're rocking. You can also do by velocity. So if you play soft, where you play with velocity, it's watching and it'll control, or by notes. And this is how you set up splits and zones and stuff like that. So if you set this to be just here, then that means these sounds are on this part of the keyboard. And this goes for OMG. This goes for any multis. You can do this. And if you start like doing a synth line part with like Toxic Omnisphere and 6 synth parts, you can switch between them really quickly to do all the cool deep bass type of things. So here, there's one groove there, and my snare or this part doesn't even come in. Now this is following pitch, so you hear. So this might not work for some of these where I have pitch tracking across the whole keyboard unless you go in to each of the patches and you go through and you turn off the transpose light for the sounds that are samples that are not noise that transpose. Because then you can, Airwave did this a lot for his volume 2 multis, where he would have a part of the keyboard that would be used as a real-time mixing station. If you go to Airwave volume 2, these are set up this way and are really cool. Let's go multi Airwave volume 2. He did these BPM split things, right? So if you go to like meditation generation, oh wait, no, let me find what it's, there we go. So kick. I'm playing notes on the keyboard to trigger when parts are happening, right? And so you can play in real time and add parts, take parts out. So this is a part of Omnisphere that a lot of people might not be aware of, but the stack mode has these 3 different ways of working that are really cool. If I wanted to set this to CC mode, then these are all available to play. They're all across the keyboard, but they don't show up until I have things. And you could have a slow fade into the bass. You know, so there's all sorts of abilities. I need to explain what we've just done for the last 7 minutes. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do. Just explore it. This is really basic in the concept. All you're doing is just changing the basics of the sounds. You choose where the sounds need to show up and whether they fade in or they fade out by clicking in the top corners. It's really basically cool stuff. But yeah, I'll do a video covering this. Yeah, this is something DJs and all sorts of cats can use. If you go to, let's see, I have OMG. I can't show you version 2 yet, but if we go here to like a dubstep, like the groove here, I have one note that's playing the, right? Well, I could change it to be CC, and this groove works here. So you can do all sorts of amazing things, having just this show up here and this show up here. I'm just quickly showing you how to mess it up. Not a lot of thought there, but this ability can be applied to all of these libraries that have multis that do different things. There's all sorts of possibilities beyond just notes. I set these up as notes for the triggering. But there's other ways to use these as well. So Percussa, that's one way to use these grooves in Percussa. There's another way I want to show you real quick, and that's to split. This is the kind of the old school hard way, but if you're trying to sequence in like say a film score situation and you need to break it apart for different cues and different things, let me see the tips. Another good tip, not hard to understand, but just obvious, just not obvious from the, yeah, it's hidden in there. There's all these abilities in Omnisphere that are so powerful and so simple. Eric did such a great job of designing this. Have you been using your Rolly? A little bit, not a lot for using the Rolly. I've just been very busy. So I haven't had a chance to explore it as much as I want, but it's here and I will be. But I've been Northern California last week, recorded cellos on Wednesday. I looped all the Del Norte sounds, so those are all looped. I added, as I will show you in a bit, the missing cool ingredient that's going to make that library really cool. So Rolly's kind of in the back there waiting for me. It's like my dog. She wants me to play with her more. It's like, hey, where are you at? Come back, play. So, but yeah, we'll get there. So the other way to show you with Del Norte or Percussa real quick. Let's choose. Let's use third world marketplace. So I'm gonna get rid of the synthesizer parts, the keyboard parts. Actually, this would be great because these parts I want to have separate, right? I want to. Does this audio sound okay, everybody? I just want to make sure I'm not distorting. I'm coming over for a deep dive. So the other way to use this, go to stack mode and turn it off. By turning it off, that defaults it to the MIDI channels that you see here in the windows. And I didn't change those because the cool thing with stack mode, by turning stack mode on, it forces all these to be MIDI channel 1, which is why it can do all this layering, and it's a stack. It's a stack of up to 8 things. If by turning it off, that immediately makes it so that I need to go to my sequencer now. Delete those because oh wait, I just deleted the wrong thing. I don't need that there. Hello, I was trying to delete the MIDI files and I deleted the whole track. So you'd go to your sequencer. This window's not big enough, but we'll make it work. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Have this up here. So Percussa is right here, and in Omnisphere or in Logic, and it's different for different sequencers. By setting it to all, that means that it's going to play on all MIDI channels inside of here. It's just going to transfer whatever is on my MIDI keyboard. What that means though is that if I go to MIDI channel, I'm not hearing MIDI. Let's see. If I have this set to this, am I on a kit? Oh, I'm on a kit. Okay, so I need to go back to where I wanted to be, which was, oh, Percussa, third world, marketplace. Go to stack mode and turn it off. And this means, there. So it's only playing MIDI channel 1. Now, if I want, I can go over here and I could say 2. And that forces my MIDI channel 1 that's being sent from my keyboard. Your default typically is MIDI channel 1 on your keyboard. This will force it to be one of these MIDI channels. All just means it's going to route whatever is here. So if I go to my keyboard controller and change that to MIDI channel 2, then it will play part 2. But not until I change that on my, whatever my master keyboard is. What you can do otherwise, though, is you can set it to 1. And then they did a really nice thing inside of Logic Pro. When you go to track, you can go to this thing and say new track with next MIDI channel. And they show you the key shortcut, which is the control and return. So each time I hit control and return, 2, 3, 4, this is using 6 parts, 5, 6. So each of these means the MIDI channel. So here's the kick. They're actually doing a snare too. And part 6. So if I was doing a film cue piece, I might need to play some short notes. Right? I can do whatever I want because I'm playing notes. And you can do all sorts of re-triggering things. And then the bass line, let's turn off Cello so we can hear that and go. I can build this complete. So I have that happening. I can go to part 3. And do whatever I want. So instead of being this thing, when you call up this stack and it's in stack mode, it's this happy, you know, yay, get down. Turn off stack mode and it's separate tracks that can do separate things. And you can go anywhere you want. So I got super macho drums. I could call up some sort of a really cool kit and turn it into a song. Totally different than it being this one note, one finger thing. That's just the one finger demo version. When you call it up, is just to show you what the elements are. And at that point, it's up to you to turn off stack mode and go a bazillion other places other than what you can do with just the one finger playing the same parts, doing the same things. So, yeah, so the idea is I want to get your mind to understand that these, to all of these, every one of these is just a starting point. And by turning on stack mode, you can now go crazy in your compositions and have all of these elements to play with, but not at the same time. You know? So that's the idea. These are these pretty well-defined pieces of clay, but you don't have to have the whole clay be played all at one time, right? So this is just a whole bunch of elements, and this way each of you will use them in. When is the album out? I want to do a record. There's no doubt. I wish I could, but I have to pay my bills, and so I have to make libraries at the moment. Maybe in the future. I have latency. Why do I have latency going on? Okay. I love my job and I love what I do too. I truly, these are my albums. You have to realize the way that I'm approaching my life, these libraries, each one of these is an album project. And each one of these is a moment in time, kind of like a tattoo. You know, when I did Mega Magic Dreams, I was starting my divorce process and I was just moved out on my own. And so that and pads are kind of really heavy, sad sounds in some respects because I was going through a difficult time. But that's life. So this is my life in sound, you know. Instead of writing music, I'm writing sounds and then giving them to you guys to work with. So that's what I do. So hopefully that gives you some ideas with Percussa that will blow your mind. And I'll do a couple more like focused. I'm going to do more focused single videos in YouTube sharing how to do these things that I'm covering, because I am guilty of putting a lot of information into one video and breaking them into little tiny pieces makes them a little bit easier to know where to go to find these in the future. So I will do that. But remember, stack mode can be turned off or it can be turned on, set to CC mode, and now you're controlling the mix. Just play with it. Call up any of these, say off we go to war. Go to the stack mode, hit CC, and take all the low ones and put them up here. Just for fun. So this way you have, and I would suggest, since I know I got 54 over here I can use, don't use CC1 for this if you can help it. Because CC1 is also changing the mix. I have that change in the mix and all sorts of things. So let's take this up and have it fade in. Right? And if I have it all the way up, I could have it fade these guys down softer so if I wanted a different mix. Low. And I have the mod wheel. Here's my mod wheel. That's why you don't want to have your mod wheel do this. Because if I had this set to CC1, check this out. This is what will happen if you don't set this up to two different controllers. If it's all on default, it's default to CC1. So now I'm playing, and as I move my mod wheel, it's changing the mix. But it's changing all that mod wheel stuff that I've spent all that time programming at the same time. So you can get definitely messed up if you try to have the same CC1 be what you use to change your mix elements. So just find something else in some other thing with a knob, and all you have to do in Logic, and I'm sure it's same. They have this little monitor up here. I just spin this, and I saw that this is 54. I was like, cool. So I just go down here and click to 54 and change it. So that's how that works. So if I set this to 54, now this knob is controlling the mix, and it's not messing up my mod wheel 1, which is controlling the change of all the sounds. Okay, so yeah, expression, any CC, I mean, it's got the full list all the way up to 127. So you've got anyone that you want to assign. Oh, be careful with 11 is MIDI expression. You know, MIDI expression will change volume, and so I would be careful with 11. I don't know if I have a way to route and try that, but I think it would change the volume of the mix, which you should not use MIDI 7. Try not to use the first 10 because pan, volume, 11 is expression. There's certain standard MIDI controller number protocol things that are assigned to these first sets of continuous controllers. Hey, the mailman's here. That's nice, Biggie. No, he does not. Okay, so that's where we are here. What would you guys, let's do Del Norte for a minute. Del Norte is coming along nicely. It's actually going to be more of a Contact 5 library than it will be for, I'm going to make it for Omnisphere 2, but I'll explain. Yes. Hey, Athena. See if I can get her to come up here. Athena, come here. Athena, come. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come here and say hi. Come on. Athena, come. Come here. Here she comes. We'll have Athena say hi to everybody. Hi, buddy. Oh, you're such a good girl. Oh, come here. Say hi to everybody. Hello. How you doing? You're my good girl. Yeah. Such a good girl. I'm going to have you talk to me. You want to talk to me? She's all shy when I'm holding her like this. Here. You want to talk? Wait. Hey, wait. Come here. Talk. Say something good. Talk. Come on, talk. Talk some more. Good girl. Okay, so Athena said hi and talked to you guys. So, Del Norte. So Del Norte is a library that last week I showed you ESX24 files that I have set up. Let me get myself set up here. Let me show you where we were last week, and I'll show you where we are this week. So if I go here to where it says strings and let's get rid of that bus, no send, EXS24 stereo. So Del Norte is all these really cool so it's gonna make awesome pads. Some are mysterious. These are just default, no effects, ESX24 version. Right? All sorts of really cool stuff. Okay? These are all looped, so now I can... So these also, now one thing to point out, this is one reason why they're going to be in Contact as their like default best version, which will be included, I believe, with the Omnisphere version. I'm just going to put it all into one thing and you can use it how you want. But there's a lot of samples. Omnisphere will only let me pick 8 of these to use, and actually 7, because the thing I didn't talk about last week that is going to make this really, really, really cool is I'm doing some crazy things for new attacks. It's kind of like the D50 in a way. The idea that started it was all of those tuned percussion samples in Percussa that came from Super Macho drums. I wanted to pair those up with some really cool sounds, because when you put those attacks on top of all sorts of things, it gets really cool. And I realized by pointing out tuned percussion inside of Percussa, a lot of you are not going to start programming synthesizer sounds with those tuned percussion sounds. So the idea is to use these really cool sounds from this trip that I took to the Northern Redwoods, combined with attacks that are really cool. And then I've done some fun things to them. And I have a whole lot of other plans to do. I still have probably a month on this library. It's not going to come out before the end of this month for sure. But I want to show you, let's go to Omnisphere real quick. I have now put it into Omnisphere to start playing with. Go to samples, Del Norte, and here's all these attacks. And I'll show those in a minute. But first, here's the synth sounds. this is Fortuna soft. It's one sample across the whole keyboard. Say I want to use that, okay? And I might move the sample start time in a little bit. Let's shape it just a little bit before I... Okay, let's filter it. Wouldn't it be cool to have a really cool attack on that? And what if you had like 70 to choose from? For all of the EDM dance stuff that's going on, the attack is this really unique quality you hear that sticks out in a lot of the songs that I'm hearing. So I'm doing this thing where if we go to here, to Del Norte, to these attacks, and you take this, that's cool, right? What if you have reverb? Was it the effects? Now you have chill. That's why it's called EDM/chill, because the dry is going to give you more the all these really cool things, but the verb, I can program that to be a really cool chill effect. So if I take that, let's just play for a minute just to show you. This is so... And then go to the effects, and let's just do a quickie. Go to the plug and groove effect racks, to the mixes, to something like... So that's the concept. And this way you can go to the body. Like, these are crazy, because check this out. This is... And then assign this to the mod wheel, get full range, and yeah. It's going to be really fun. And this is too high, then you could either do a fifth. Just do really cool as... or take it down to a full octave, or 2 octaves. But it's still a cool attack because it's a percussion sound. It's that impact, even slowed down, is still... If you turn this off, I was gonna make this just a library of just this. And I'll make patches of just... So you can take that and layer it on top of any Synth patch or Spire patch or Icarus or other Omnisphere patch. It's going to be really cool. It's going to open up all sorts of crazy... save that patch. Yeah, so that is the idea. Now, here's the interface in progress with my quick mock-up that I've gotten to my script designer to work with, which is going to be that you'll have an attack and a list and a body and a list. to choose from to make the combinations and have volume, pitch, sample start, so you can move later into samples. Some of the samples have unique attacks for pads or pitchy G kind of things in them, so you can get rid of them. And then you'll go through all the effects and all the cool stuff that is inside of the, well, it started with Mega Macho drums, but it's the same interface with lo-fi, glitch, EQ, transient designer, 3 EGs, 2 convolution effects, and the delay. And the filters right here. So this is my proposal to him, and he's working on that, and we'll have that working. I've got Matt Chowski doing the graphics. So, hey, Kid Anthem. Hey, welcome. So this is and again, if I want different bodies, let's take this up 2 octaves because I'm down 2 octaves. Let me kill my delays because that's... So that's what Del Norte EDM/chill is about. You have separate bodies. Right? And they go. I'll give you an example. So here's Jedediah, which is this cool, like, filtered brass kind of... Okay, this is what it sounds like in the ESX24 with all of the samples playing. Let's get rid of all these extras that we don't need. Turn off the reverb and call up ESX24. Where are you? There you are. Let's go over here to Jedediah Smith, which is the name of this really cool grove of redwoods. Get the release to be a little bit. See, they all open and close at the same time. Versus a single sample in Omnisphere, which isn't horrible, but it's different. So I'm gonna just include both, because that's what I do with Mega Magic pads, and it's the best-selling library I've ever done. So just, you know, make it available to everybody. So that's what I'm working on. I've got a long ways to go, but the concept I'm really, really excited about, because this is where you would want to use the sample start. Just into the body. And make all sorts of stuff happening. I do like the brightness of the Omni patch. Well, that's because it's a single sample, so it's getting brighter as it goes up the keyboard. That's kind of what inherently happens with a single sample. As it doubles in pitch, it's getting more brightness because there's more frequency content from that higher stuff in frequency content going up. So they're different. So it'll be cool to have both available to play with. I'm very thrilled. Yes, it does sound like Toto a little bit for that one because it's got that. Okay. So that's work in progress. There's also, on top of, there's also things that are really cool called effects. Let's see, where's some of the effects? So like here's, the effects have all sorts of additional stuff. I have to still work on these mixes a bit, right? I'm gonna play with this more. There's more sounds like this to make. So here's conga. Let's play this. That's just layering two sounds with no effects. So, what's going to be better to choose from, John? Omnisphere or Contact? They'll both be, well, you'll have both in the library. I'm going to put them both in the same library. You buy it, you get both. I think I'll try to, got your run. All right, rock on. Family issues, yeah. Well, thank you for joining. Sorry you got to go. I'm gonna try. I should probably do that with Dreams and the other ones too. Make them so that they're combined into a single download for both libraries. It just kind of makes sense. We'll figure it out. Don't quote me. This is, you know, I might change my mind, but now everybody goes, yay, right? So that's what I'm working on for the next library. The future. Let's talk about the future for a minute. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of this stuff because there's so much content that's really cool. That's just a single sample. The ladybirds are cool. Go hear the different attacks. It's gonna be cool. So there you go. That's what we're working on for Del Norte. So there you go. Last thing I'm going to show you is this. I did a recording session on Wednesday. Cello. And I was thinking that I could do, we'll still see, but I'm thinking that I'm going to do each of the stringed instruments as their own library. There's a lot I can explore. The idea is to use these samples and so forth to make new things. I'm not recording every note in multi-velocities and trying to compete with all the companies that currently make libraries. I'm going to approach it with my own special approach, unique. So I recorded cello, really cool mic technique that the engineer used. I'll show you some of the sounds in a minute. That's my fisheye. That's the engineer, Drew Cagnolete. The celloist is a guy by the name of Kevin Dietz, and he plays in a number of symphonic orchestras, I believe, here in Portland. Unbelievable player. But he's also an educator. He's teaching like the history of rock and roll at Clackamas Community College. This was my view. As you see, I had a keyboard hooked up, and I had a computer, and I had the Universal Audio Apollo, and I'll show you in a minute. So that's the two guys that helped make this library. The location is a studio in North Portland in Drew's house. He uses Nuendo. We recorded at 48 kilohertz, 24-bit. I just wanted to keep it simple instead of having to downsample everything. Hey, Gareth, welcome. So we recorded a whole bunch of different stuff. Here's my list. You know, full range, single or two strikes, straight, vibrato, all sorts of crescendo, decrescendo, two strokes, staccatos, pizzicatos, slow strings, and then rhythmic, which is really fun. And these will both be dry as well as treated with the Mega Macho processing. And so I will show you what I did. I haven't gotten the stuff that Drew is recording at the studio. He's doing, it's 4 stems, 4 different microphones that I can then mix and match from. Hey, DJ Tato and everyone in the chat. Quick question. Since you are talking future, will you Ever go back to make a live stream or video for FM synthesis? Sure. We can talk about FM synthesis on a weekend for sure. The microphone setup is a special setup that Drew learned from some Windham Hill recording sessions that he did. Let's see if you can see. There's a microphone here with a barrier on it. There's a microphone right here, and this is this really cool, unique stereo setup. See these microphones? This is stereo. This mic and that mic is the left, and so I have these 4 microphones to work with, and the sound quality is unbelievable. If we were to go to, I might embarrass myself by doing this, but let's go to Contact and check out one of these sample libraries. There's so many good ones. If we go strings, oh, I think Symphobia 2 has this individual sections. I think solo, string. They don't have solo cello. Oh, cello with, those are bass effects. Oh, you know where they have it? I have strings inside of just the factory content. Which one has this? Strings. Here's cello solo. Even then, with Vienna Symphony Library, this is one of the earlier libraries. They've improved it and added more samples, I believe. But I had no desire to do that, to try to create something that was just playing solo instruments like that. So here's where I am at. What I'm going to show you, these are super early. He sent me a monitor that I was able to record into Logic while the session was happening. So here's the cello dry. Okay. And I have more samples to play with when I get to the final files. But that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in this type of stuff. This is one sample. Hold on a second. I got to reply to this. I did not. And I think they closed at 1. Here's a crescendo, decrescendo. Again, this is just a single sample test. So this is the kind of stuff I'm interested in pursuing, is more so there's a couple different, here's fast bowing. Let me show you the high one. This is really cool. One sample. So I want things that give you the spirit of No, it's Mega Magic strings. And this will be Mega Magic cello. So these are the things that we're working on. Again, there's pizzicato and spiccato and all sorts of things. Here's a slow stroke. So it's really cool. And the sound quality of these is just amazing. This was, I did as a test. What else do we have? The fast bowing. This needs more samples to be really useful. But down low, it's kind of cool. So, this will be what I'm working on for a little bit later this year. I'm going to do it as 4 libraries because that way they can be the $49 library for each instrument and be, you know, my take on these instruments. And maybe in the future I will do a more but I'm more interested in trying to find new things from instruments beyond what, you know. So that's what I've been working on. It's been busy. So I'm glad you guys are excited. Yeah, these and the recordings, there's just such a richness to these. I mean, these are not optimized in any way, straight from recording session to, well, I added reverb. I did my Mega Magic reverb to this. But if you compare that to the cello, it's like blech. I mean, there's a place where you need that, and it is cool. But I don't want to try to replace cello players. The idea is to find something new. So that's the direction my ship is heading that way. So that's what we're doing. All right. Hold on, I got to see what's going on. I have. Follow that direction. You'll follow. Okay, awesome. So, are there any questions? I've covered a lot. We've gone from Percussa to Del Norte, which is really cool. I can't wait. To cello. That's quite a big bunch of places to go. So Percussa is done. Also I want to note to you guys that if you go to Plugin Guru Percussa, it is now, I spent a long time last night. I'm going to try to do this for all the libraries. It takes a long time to do these. But if you scroll down the library, down here, there's now where you can hear multis as separate demos. So there's 10 of them that you can play and listen to and hear what it does. And I included the reggaeton and the Imagined Believer. Those are played from the kits. I use the kits in the MIDI files because those play better considerably than they do inside of Omnisphere. But the Omnisphere version is cool to have, to play one note, and then again, like we talked about, turn off stack and start building it in different ways. So check those out. If you don't have Percussa, I'm very proud of that work. If there's questions, please ask them. And yeah, I think doing a future live stream on FM synthesis would be good. I also have some other things in the plans for live streams. I'm going to get a new computer here soon so that I can work a little bit faster and have maybe better video and a couple other things happen. Radio, yes, Radio Ready Volume 2 will use Keyscape for sure. There will actually be some patches for Del Norte that use Keyscape. Quickly grab some random elements from various patches and establish consistency with ARPs, where they are all usable. If you sort of quickly did earlier today, especially if you grab something from Omnipulse and Omnichill and Percussa and make it all line up and be okay. Yeah, that'd be a good live stream. We will do that. To work on libraries working together. Like I was showing you, sometimes if you're going for a certain feel, the delays or the arpeggiator timing might not work. So you might need to edit those types of things. We'll do that. I'm going to cut this a little bit short. I got some things I need to deal with, but I'm so glad I got to show you everything. Do it now. No, let's do a live stream on it. We'll do a whole live stream. We'll write a song. I need more demo songs for different libraries, so we'll do a demo song for a library or something like that. But I don't want to like fill you guys with, you got a lot of homework, so do your homework this week. Also, I'm going to figure out if I can do this, but I want to include some of the video footage from Del Norte as a bonus to give you guys, and then we're going to do a competition to do a demo song using Del Norte sounds matched to the video. So that's in the works as well. I have to find out what I need to do to get clearance to include that video. The FFA might find me if I do it wrong, so I need to make sure I'm in the clear on that. All right. Thank you for watching, guys. It's real fun to work on these libraries and then kind of like, here's an update of where we are this week. Do these on Saturday and hang out and show all sorts of things that are going on and chat with all of you and say hello. Goodbye from Holland. Where's everybody at? Everybody say where you're from. Where are you at? I'm in Portland, Oregon. Let's say Woot from Portland. From the UK. Oh gosh, we got some good. I'm sorry for your votes, man. You guys had an interesting voting cycle this week. More UK, New Jersey, Canada, California, Philadelphia, Scotland, London, Mississippi, Dallas, Palm Springs, Thailand, Texas, and Germany. We're everywhere. Isn't that funny? You can all be in this room chatting with 45 other people that are from different corners of the world all at once. It's really awesome. South London, Mississippi. Yes, Chicago. Chicago's in the house. Awesome. All right. Be well. Good luck this week. Write some really cool tunes. Bring me along on their adventures, and I'll see you soon. All right? Bye, guys.